It's been tough for Barcelona supporters over the last few years, whether it was the Negrera case, the financial situation, the European failures, or perhaps the worst of all, this thing.
I'm looking for a man in football, trainer, 5'10", blue eyes. Football, trainer, 5'10", blue eyes.
How could they do that to their fan base? After a season where Girona daddied up on them, the back and forth nature of the Xavi situation, and then this
5'10", blue eyes.
But in all seriousness, that video changed everything for Barcelona this season. Kind of, or rather, the man starring in that video changed everything for Barcelona. And of course, they got smacked by Osasuna recently, but losses were always going to come along this season, that's for sure, given the injuries and, well, the complete change tactically under a new coach, especially when your side is filled with young, relatively inexperienced players for some matches. It's a new project. There are times in this sport where even when results don't go your way, if there are signs of change and signs of improvement that are there in spite of the results, especially when there's a host of young talent coming through, you can still look at your club positively. Barcelona have both, the results and the evidence of the coach's imprint on this young team as injuries wreak havoc on the squad. And it's not just the way they are winning, but the turn in a more positive direction when it comes to their finances. And the fact that Barcelona once again have something that they had been missing for some time. An idol, a genuine idol, a special player to not just provide hope for supporters, but win the matches, turn 1 point into 3 or 2 goals into 4 with their contributions on the pitch. So yes, Barcelona is definitely heading in a positive direction and has their supporters justifiably excited. And we'll go deeper in all of that. And just to get you justifiably excited or maybe horrified, later in this video, I'll do something that most YouTubers wouldn't dare. I will show you everything. I will actually show you Adrian from Rabona TV using his Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 as he trims in the shower.
But off the pitch, it has been an absolutely terrible time for the club.
First and foremost, let's get the cash out of the way, as Barcelona's financial situation has been grim for quite some time now. Grim and oftentimes confusing. So grim, in fact, that we saw Lionel Messi get forced out of the club due to the financial situation, and with every passing transfer window, it felt like there was a mad scramble as the house was on fire, trying to bring players in while simultaneously trying to renegotiate contracts where they could, trying to convince players to leave the club, and selling off future revenues and the rights to certain club assets in order to fund a team in the present. Barcelona were in a sense trying to hang on to their sports car while the debt collectors were coming around and taking a wheel here, taking the roof off of the car, removing the side mirrors. All the while, Barcelona scrambled to hang on to those pieces or find replacement parts. Some were good replacement parts, some were not. The North Star that guided all of this in some ways was the biannual report from La Liga that shows what the salary limit is for each club. In very simplistic terms, I won't get too technical, how much they can spend on the transfers and salaries within their club, both player and staff salaries. Barcelona's was once incredibly high, but dropped significantly over the years as well. Through various means, such as getting rid of players and pulling numerous palancas or financial levers, Barcelona's salary limit was 656 million in September of 2022. But at the end of the 2023 transfer window, it had dropped to 270 million, a 386 million drop in 1 year. And in the January window of 2024, it dropped further to 204 million. In fact, here's a graphic from The Athletic that shows how it has evolved over the years. 2021-22 was a dark time. Well, things are back on the up for Barcelona at the moment as La Liga announced the new salary limits on September 12th, 2024. In that announcement, Barcelona's salary cap had more than doubled since the 204 million from February 2024, all the way up to 426 million. This jump actually fires Barcelona up the standings. Let's go, climbing those financial ranks, FC Forbes. But yes, they are second only to Real Madrid, as you can see. They're now over 100 million euros higher than Atletico in third. The craziest thing, as a side note, is Sevilla's drop from 169 million to 2.5 million. What? Anyway, some of the financial maneuvers that Barcelona pulled off this window, some of the financial flip-flaps and body feints were things such as getting rid of Ilkay Gundogan and his wages, as well as Marcos Alonso, Sergio Roberto, and Clément Lenglet, who hasn't been around for a while now, but he's officially deleted from the books for this season. On top of that, the wages of the two Johns, the two Joãos, on loan last season, which were reduced wages for Barcelona, but still quite costly for them to have João Felix and João Cancelo. They also raised close to 40 million euros in the sales of Shadi Riyad, Marc Gui, Mikhail Faye, Araujo, and Pedrola. On top of that, Barca licensing and merchandising has continued to bring in record numbers for them, as they announced last year that they had increased by 54% when it came to sales in physical stores alone. Partnerships continued to grow for Barcelona as well. I mean, everything is moving in the right direction in that regard, in the right direction commercially for them. Things are so much better that even, get this guys, listen up, even Javier Tebas has congratulated Barcelona for their achievement. Wow. Saying, quote, "They have significantly reduced the wage bill. It adds up to a lot. They have a better understanding of how financial fair play works than they had at the beginning. Laporta can be proud." Can you believe that? Tebas complimenting Barcelona? But anyway, they aren't completely out of the woods. Injuries to Ronald Araujo and Andreas Christensen are what allowed Barcelona to register Inigo Martinez and Dani Olmo, respectively, as they took advantage of one of the rules with La Liga's financial controls. You know, if you have a major injury, then you can register a new player. That's the rule in question here, Rule 77 of the financial controls. So there is a chance that Olmo won't be able to play in the second half of the season once Christensen returns in January, assuming Barcelona don't raise funds or cut costs elsewhere, of course, though Laporta has said that he is confident that they will make the necessary moves in that regard. Also, when they return to Camp Nou, which is under construction still, that will help greatly with the revenues from match day sales, as it has been difficult at Montjuic. So it's a little hairy still, but the fact is Barcelona's financial situation is getting better and better all the time due to their cost cutting. And speaking of hairy and cutting, the moment you have all been waiting for has arrived. Thanks to our sponsor for this video, Manscaped, who have helped revolutionize men's grooming. They sent me the Perfect Package 5.0 Ultra, which comes with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra electric trimmer, their crop soother to provide some aftershave comfort to your delicate areas, and to add a little freshness down under, their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. On top of that, you get a free gift, this beautiful, spacious Manscaped Shed 2.0 travel bag to keep everything together and organized. That's kind of them. But let's get back to the star of the show, the stunning, beautiful Lawnmower 5.0 with what's this? An interchangeable foil blade, which allows you to get an even closer, smoother shave as it glides across your skin, leaving you as smooth as Guardiola's head. But there's also the skin-safe blade heads of the trimmer blade, which somehow has even longer, wider, rounded teeth compared to the excellent older versions. As well, it has a bigger, brighter LED light so that no hair can hide. You can switch between the two flawlessly, from trimmer to foil trimmer and back again, and it's waterproof so you can use it in the shower. Like me. See? As promised. So, join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with their lives and balls, and head to manscaped.com to pick up the Perfect Package 5.0 Ultra, and when you enter the code RTV at checkout, you'll get 20% off, free international shipping, and a gift. That's a crazy deal. Thank you, Manscaped.
Opened in 2011, this is where more than 80 sports people live, and where the club's 650 youth athletes are looked after.
One of the biggest boons to Barcelona's well-being at the moment is the prominence of the young players that continue to shine for them. And this isn't just a boon to their finances, but to their fortunes on the pitch as well. Some of Barcelona's standout performers have been the youngsters that Hansi Flick has handed opportunities to and subsequently began relying on in each match. Sadly, 17-year-old midfielder Marc Bernal went out with an ACL injury early in the season. It's unfortunate that yet another Barcelona midfielder got hit with a cruciate ligament tear, something that we've seen both Pedri and Gavi suffer from in recent years. Gavi, by the way, is back in training with Barcelona, but they are taking things very slowly with him. That's obviously the responsible approach, so power to them. Frenkie de Jong is also absent due to his ankle injury, as the midfield certainly has taken hits. Another young player who is shining in Barcelona's midfield, however, is of course Marc Casado, who is looking like a top graduate from La Masia, as he got 2 assists in 2 matches for Barcelona. He can play in various positions in midfield, as he was previously mostly utilized as a defensive midfielder, but can play slightly more advanced roles as well, that sort of box-to-box role. 2 young fullbacks who have played their role also, Hector Fort, an academy graduate, and Gerard Martin, who played with Barcelona Athletic after moving from UE Cornellà. Martin has started 2 matches while Fort is against it, given he has Jules Koundé ahead of him in the pecking order, but he's made cameo appearances here and there, and we'll probably see more of him later in the season. Sergi Dominguez was handed a start against Villarreal as Pau Cubarsí, another guy who was just 17, was rested. The 2 of them played together at the youth levels for Barcelona, as La Masia is producing plenty of defensive options for Hansi Flick to utilize. There were plenty of youngsters on the bench as well for the Villarreal match. In fact, a star in that Villarreal match was Pablo Torre, another midfielder. Barcelona need midfielders at the moment, hence all these young guys getting opportunities. He's not a La Masia graduate. No, I will not fall for the Pedri trap as I did a couple of years ago. By the way, it was hilarious to me to see that Football Iconic, shout out to him, made the same mistake. He has that same brainworm as me that made him call Pedri a Masia graduate as I did a couple of years ago. So something about Pedri just screams Barcelona, and to be fair, his family Barca roots run very deep from the Canary Islands. But anyway, Torre got a goal and an assist in Barcelona's victory over Villarreal, showing that Flick has plenty of young players that he can look to, not to just fill a role, but to provide value and win him matches as well. Whether these players stick around for the rest of the season or not, whether they will be top players at Barcelona, I don't know. I'm not here to make predictions, but in this moment, they are effective and are providing cover while Barcelona go through an injury crisis. Just look at this. Gavi, Marc Bernal, Ter Stegen, Christensen, De Jong, Araujo, Olmo, and Fermin Lopez all injured at the same time. Now, of course, as we witnessed in Barcelona's match against Osasuna, while having a large number of talented young players to choose from is a beautiful thing for a coach like Hansi Flick, it also speaks to the injury issues they're having. And when your ratio of youngsters to experienced players gets unbalanced, then of course, you can see some implosion-esque results, such as the 4-1 loss to Osasuna, where they were forced to rest players and play 2 teenagers at the center back position. A very important position where experience is necessary. Coming out on the other side of it will do more good than damage, however, as these young players are learning invaluable lessons. Like I said in the intro, this isn't really about seeing Barcelona as an all-conquering side that will trash the rest of Europe in all competitions. That's not the point of this video. It's not what we're trying to say. No, this is about identifying the positive direction amongst the bad results, seeing how those who are right now just cover players could grow into regulars under Flick in the years to come. But there's one La Masia graduate that is doing far more than simply providing cover.
We have the best young player in the world, and well, wasn't that on show last night?
Lamine Yamal is kind of the cherry on top at Barcelona, the thing that elevates the club. For so long, he was always referred to as, oh, he's the best young talent, best young winger, most promising player. Now he can genuinely just be referred to as one of the best attackers in the world in this very moment. Like I often say on the channel, consistency is what separates good players from great ones. So that test remains still, as we have seen far too many youngsters look world-class for a season or so, then fade away. But in this moment, Lamine Yamal is a world beater. He's been unplayable for Barcelona and Spain, to be honest. In fact, speaking of Spain, his contributions at Euro 2024 did a lot for his reputation and how people view him now. Sure, he was excelling at Barcelona last season, but to go to an international competition and play a role in your country being crowned as the best team in Europe, that's another level to it. He has made it so easy to forget that he's still just 17 years old. Need proof of his brilliance? You probably don't, but look at his numbers recently from the Euro 2024 knockout round onward. He has 9 assists and 5 goals for both club and country. So Barcelona have an idol again, a young, genuine star that doesn't just deliver on the pitch with his goals and assists, but provides hope for the supporters off of it. Something to look forward to watching, even when results aren't going their way. Someone who not just supplies hope, but has the skill set to potentially win matches when the team isn't playing well. It felt like there was some downtime for Masia products in the first team, which Hansi Flick helped to break. But after his lengthy injuries, that faded again until Lamine Yamal came to prominence. Of course, he's not at Messi's level, and attaching that kind of expectation to him would be a massive mistake. Nobody in their right mind is doing that, anyway. But the way that he plays, assuming this trajectory continues, then Barcelona have another Ballon d'Or candidate for the future that even Cristiano Ronaldo signed off on.
They also can feel, okay, there's some special now today on the field. The team has this hunger, after every goal we go more for the next one.
Some things are forgivable for Barcelona supporters when it comes to Flick, such as the 8-2 drubbing he handed them with his former club, Bayern. Other things from Flick are not forgivable.
I'm looking for a man in football, trainer, 5'10", blue eyes.
Okay, that's the last time I bring that up, I promise. You have to give a ton of credit to Flick for how he has managed the season thus far. His demanding nature at Barcelona, such as turning them into a determined pressing machine, has bore fruit. Questions of whether he would be a fit have so far been answered with a resounding yes. The players seem to love him, the president speaks of how much he loves the manager, and Barcelona are performing better. They have a higher line, they attack lightning quick, and they retain their focus for the entirety of the 90 minutes thus far, as fitness and stamina were one of Flick's massive principles to improve at Barcelona. The club knew they needed to improve it, and Flick naturally was going to improve it. Pedri himself has spoken of this and how it has helped the team, among other things, saying, quote, "We work much harder than before. We work hard and you notice it in the games. The team doesn't dip after the 70th or 80th minute. It maintains the same fitness levels. Flick helps us young players a lot. He's always on top of what we need and you appreciate that." When things have to be taken seriously though, he does. He does have that element of being a sergeant about him. But he's as good as gold when he speaks with the players. He's really close to the players, someone who likes to talk with us. Apart from being serious, he also enjoys a joke. He's not always as serious as he appears. It's pretty tempting to draw a parallel to the difference Flick made when he took over at Bayern Munich, an instant impact that saw Bayern climb to the top of the Bundesliga to win it and win the Champions League as well that season, despite him taking over on December 22nd, 2019. At Barcelona, Flick's approach has proven to be excellent thus far. There's still a long way to go, but with their financial situation getting better and better season upon season, with La Masia providing them with gold for the first team, and with a much needed new approach from a proven winner in Hansi Flick, there certainly is a lot of hope for FC Barcelona again. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I appreciate the support, and I hope to see you in another one. Ciao.